So, I decided to record the battleabyss. Let's see how this goes, because to be honest, I'm out of troops, and because there's no mage shop, I cannot buy elixir to heal them. So it's a bit problematic for me to play right now battleabyss, to be honest. Like, if we check, my mage only has 81 caps inside, and I have like enough caps for 2 marches. Literally have 180k caps wounded, and if I try to resource heal, it's 10 mil, so that's absolutely not happening. So what I'm gonna do is focus these battleabyss more in the micro of the mages. So this is gonna be pretty much a micro guide for a mage player, okay? I'm gonna still use my caps, but probably it's gonna last 2 fights. But yeah, this is gonna be more centered around the mage. So tips I can give you for mage. First of all, the important thing is what artifact are you running. So if you're running, for example, Infernal Flame, honestly you can autocast it because it's single target artifact. But if you're playing, for example, with Magic Bomb or any other artifact that has some type of AoE damage, then I recommend for those types of artifacts you remove the autocast and you use it manually. I'm gonna try to show some examples in. Bro, where are we going? Okay, anyways. Some examples in this game, because I do believe people, like, I mean, of course it's more comfortable to just let your, like, that's probably a full march. I don't think I can contest that. But yeah, probably most people have the artifacts on autocast because it's more comfortable. I recommend, if you especially if you're playing on PC, if you're playing on phone, to be honest, just keep them at autocast. But if you're playing from PC, you have the keybind, so it makes it easier. If it's an AoE artifact, I recommend you use it manually, because there will be sometimes, for example, that literally you will have a march alone, you will cast the AoE artifact there, and suddenly 3, 4, 10 more marches will be around you, and you're like, bro, if I had here my artifact, I'd be clapping those people. But right now it's on cooldown. The cooldowns are quite long, to be honest, like 1.5 min or so. So yeah, now let's focus. So first of all, as a mage, what marches do we have here? We have a Lilia, a Gewe, who's attacking me. It's the cap guy who's literally just crashed himself into the infantry. Okay, anyways, you gotta watch out, especially for archers as a mage. Okay, you try to avoid hitting archers. We gotta retreat here. We're probably dead because they have a lot of caps. So we gotta pull back. First mistake we did is fighting on here. This is too narrow. We're taking every single AoE hit from skills, from artifacts, from everywhere. Because I'm super low on troops, I'm gonna go actually refresh and not suicide my mages, my caps, because I don't really care. Like, they're gonna be dead anyway, so I'm just gonna YOLO them in. But yeah, what I was saying, first mistake was fighting here. It's too narrow. We need open space to avoid the AoE hits. And then what you want to focus as a mage is the enemy mages, the enemy cavalry that are actually engaged in the fight, then I'd say infantry, and then archers. The only exception is if you're a whale or you know you're playing underpowered players. Why? Because as a mage, if you're hitting like a Kinara, for example, like this one, which seems okay, it's absolutely strong because it's a fucking awakened Kinara and awakened host, so this is clearly a whale. I might even do the test for the sake of the video so you can see. But if he's targeting, for example, this guy, I start hitting this Kinara host, I will literally lose the trait just from the counterattack. Because it's just way more stronger. And mages deal damage through skills and are countered by archers. So this is something you gotta keep in mind when you're playing mages. You need to prioritize properly the targets. Why I don't say focus infantry if mages in theory counter infantry? Well, infantry doesn't deal much damage, so it's not that much of a threat to you and your team, okay? So the main reason you focus other mages is because the counterattack of the mages is way lower than, for example, the archers, and you're gonna trade. Look, 200, of course, is weakened, but you like, look, let's hit this. 1000. Do you see the difference? Even if it's rate HP, I'm taking a lot. 400 I took there when it was borderline dead. So this is how sometimes you get absolutely awful traits as a mage. If you start focusing things with high counterattack damage, you like your doesn't mean your report is gonna be bad, but it won't be as good as it is. So who's in charge, for example, of killing the archers then? Then it's Cavalry, because one, it's the unit that counters them, and two, due to the high burst of Cavalry, whenever they charge the archer, they drop immediately their HP, so that reduces their damage output, so their counter-attack is not that hard. Now here we have to be careful. Why? We have one player in frontline, but he's super low. What we cannot focus that, as I said, so because I don't want to go deep, I'm gonna focus this archer, because it's a Kewin, it's an epic hero, the likelihood that it's gonna melt me is lower. Now, we got a reinforcement of infantry, so we can keep pushing. This is super important if you play mages, okay? If you see you only have, for example, one unit of infantry, and his HP super low, you got... Okay, because it's Indies, this probably doesn't... Like, even with an Indies and a super weird-ass combo, look at the counterattack damage of archers. That's why it hurts to target them. Let's see if I can finally finish what I was trying to say. So, look, or infantry, okay? Ideally, he will have blocked the caps, but anyways, if you see your infantry starting to drop their HP fast or they are super low, you should start retreating at that point. You should not wait for the actual infantry to go down, you should do it a bit in advance. The main reason is because when infantry falls, the enemy will push with their infantry, with their caps, with their range units, and the next thing they are gonna face is your archers. Those archers are probably gonna melt, and then the next target is you. The next target is gonna be your mage mark. So you need to anticipate those moves, okay? That's good micro, that's good gameplay knowledge, okay? If you're waiting for your infantry to actually go down, by the time they go down, you're already probably gonna die following them. Right now we have two cavalry heroes. So what you can do you see my rage bar? Bro, we're fighting like two whales or something like that. Okay, so my rage bar is actually bad. I'm dead here, so because I know I'm dead, at least I'm gonna turn and deal some damage to the target. Because the other way is just, I'm literally dying, just doing nothing. See? Because I turned in that time, one of the problems of auto-casting the artifact. I literally cast it there, I had to retreat, so now I have 1 minute and 20 seconds cooldown on my artifact and it dealt 0 damage. This is why I recommend, if you can, to use the artifact manually, but I get it, 5 marches or playing from a phone is not ideal to control the artifact, so you cannot always do it. But yeah, the small tips I want over right now is, first of all, be mindful of your frontline. If your frontline is starting to drop super hard, then it's time for you to start backing out. That doesn't mean go run to your base. That means start making some steps backwards, turn, hit a bit. You need to create that distance that protects your mage unit, okay? Then we went over what to prioritize. As I said, archers is the last thing you want to hit due to their counterattack damage, so you're really more interested in focusing other mages ideally. Caps only if they are engaged. If you see a cap on the open field, do not try to hit it, because probably he's gonna turn on you and just nuke you. And then infantry. Infantry, while yes, you can grind some merits through hitting them, it's not gonna kill your marches as the enemy DPS will do, okay? So now let's keep with the game. You saw there the clear example of why having the artifact in autocast is sometimes super helpful. And imagine this with AoE, like... So right now I gotta wait for this guy mainly, okay? They're coming, they're pushing that cap. I'm gonna focus that cap because he's clearly committing the march. Once he's engaged, he doesn't have damage reduction with the charge skill. It's clearly a whale because look at the damage values and how tanky he... Bro, is that T5? Like, I think I'm literally fighting a T5. That would explain why there's like literally cavalry dealing... Yeah, I'm dying. I mean, I'm not gonna die, but I'm gonna... This is gonna hurt a lot, okay? Now, here's the thing. When cavalry engages you, you might be scared because you're like, holy shit, I just got nuked. But the damage from cavalry is like, it's burst damage, okay? So the second they enter in combat, they're gonna nuke you super hard. But the longer the battle lasts, oh no, I don't wanna hit this, bro. I gotta refresh. The second the like look at this, look at those archers. Bear in mind this is a whale, okay? Like this, if you start playing this combo, it's not. But look, everyone is literally suiciding. So that's why it's important to know who you're playing. Like it's a T5 whale, and it's the same guy with the caps. You see the difference? T5 caps I can still kill or hit, but with archers and this combo, the counter-attack damage is too crazy. Okay, so yeah, we're still 4 minutes more to go. We're probably gonna die. Like, bro, it's actually massive whale, because if it's a T5 player from server 6-2, like he went hard. Like I can tell you that he went hard on the game. If he's a T5 player on 624. But yeah, let's keep going. At least this is a good example of how to minimize your losses versus a T5 player. You just the best trick you can have is remember his name, so whenever you see him, you start running away. Okay, so I'm gonna turn now because they're gonna turn. Bro, what is that range? There's no way. Now here's the problem. What do you do when you have no front line? You just gotta pick the marches that are overcome. Do you see my reach bar that is almost full? I wanna try to cast the skill and then retreat, okay? Not gonna work because he's running away too much and I just lost the rage bar, okay? But if your rage bar is almost complete, it's worth to risk a bit of an overextend. So what you do is you... Bro, that's the T5. Like, we're so cooked. Let's focus the T4, and I'm getting focused by this guy, so I gotta still pull back a bit. Okay, but his HP bar is weakened, I have artifacts, so I do... Well, I'm gonna die. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to... it's hard to do this when... I mean, it's not even my team's fault, to be honest. This is one of the flaws of pay-to-win games. I mean, we cannot do anything, to be honest. The T5 player, the moment he targets someone, it just gets nuked. Oh yeah. But what I was saying, if you have artifact, you see an enemy with low HP coming towards you, then that's the time where you wanna turn, commit a bit of damage, commit your artifact, and then retreat again. When they have a T5 player and I have literally a guy who hasn't even changed the name of the account, I think the matchmaking is a bit flawed, not gonna lie. As you can see, I'm super low and okay, this is not the T5. So for example, in this case, you saw I was targeting the mages. If you see the main target, try to move away from them, because all this damage is from AoE damage that I'm getting right now. See, I had the rage bar, I casted my skills, and now I retreat, I deal the damage, I get the merits, and I go for a refresh. I mean, I don't even think I have... After this I'm gonna go a bit on the reports, especially when I see the T5 caps player, because I wanna see how well we traded against those that March when he wasn't targeting me. So we can target this. It's a Gewin, doesn't have as much counter-attack damage as a Kinara, and we're swapping to this one. He has a lot of buffs. I'm not the main target. We're gonna have to retreat soon. I'm gonna cast the artifact, my skill, and then I'm retreating. Cast the other one. Okay, time to pull back. So inflicted some damage, and I'm gonna... Okay, now we're gonna turn. You gotta... Like, that's micro. Microing is going a bit backwards, ahead, calculating your artifact. What I did there, it wouldn't be worth if I had, like, for example, no rage bar, no artifact. Because then I'm just trading with pure auto-attack damage. And that's not valuable. Maybe if you're an archer, but not as a mage, which this guy is about. Now let's go with this one, because it's the farthest one. I see that Kinara, I know if he turns into me, I'm gonna suffer it. Let's see the counter-attack damage. Okay, the values are decent, so I know I can hit the Kinara and not get completely wrecked. I know caps are coming. I have a rage bar, so I'm just gonna cast. Again, cast. Year 1 and retreat. And we lost, but yeah, you get the point. I have no clue what the fuck is, you know, a large amount of merits. I don't know about that, dude. Like, but yeah, let's check this player cannon. Let me see. Because I know I got hit by him. What? Honest, that's 16 hours ago. It was my 3 a.m. game where I got, like, I literally fall asleep in the queue. Clearly doesn't have all the T4s, T5 unlocked, so maybe he just went for caps and archers. Let's see if we can find a report against him and see how we did. Okay, so here is the first one. You can see I got absolutely destroyed. Obviously here I just, bro, this is so insane. Like, this dude has a level 5 save complaint on season 1. Like, bro, that's massive level win. I got completely destroyed because this was a charge he did into me. But what I wanna see is when we look. This was just from pure counter-attack damage. We traded, like I traded worse in amount of troops, but they traded equally in terms of power, as it's full T5 troops. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, this is just too much of a whale. Like, it's wild. The artifact, like, look at the stats. Like, when you want to analyze a report, don't really, well, and look at my pet. It's fair, my pet is shit, but because it's my mage pet. But when you want to know how far behind you're on tech against the other enemy, you cannot really look at attack or defense. Because, for example, if we check here, he's getting 30% extra attack from caps. So here he's only, for example, taking 10% HP. So we're looking at me having 21.7 HP and he has 39.7. So if we go through my tech, you can see that I'm actually not bad on this. I have 777, 555, 75. So, well, and this is caps, my mage is a bit weaker. So this was mainly due to the inherent buff that T5 give plus the tech. And as you can see, like, if you're not becoming the main target, you can trade even with a T5. Like, I'm gonna call this even in terms of power. In terms of resources, I ended up winning because those are T4, are way cheaper to heal. But in the other hand, if you get charged by the T5 player, like, yeah, you're getting annihilated. So yeah, I hope this was helpful to teach you how to micro bit better your mages, and see you on the next one.